Welcome to Mobile Armor Radio, the podcast for all things Mecha.
Hi everybody and welcome to an awesome episode of Mobile Armor Radio. We're not doing this as a numbered one, so haha, Pat.
No, we
53.5.
Yeah, I was going to say, we always 0.5 these.
Well, round it up.
Brian, where have you been?
Living under a rock, because I often miss the interview episodes, actually.
That's true, you're usually not here, that's right.
But thankfully I was here tonight, and today we are joined by Breeze, is it Grigas?
Yep.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming on the show. You have a really intriguing game out right now called, is it AEGIS? Is that how you pronounce it?
It's either or.
Either
Usually,
or.
I think Aegis is the dictionary definition, but
Right.
ProZD had like some bizarre way of saying it. Like I think he said AEGIS.
And you know what? It's pronouncing written words. You can just kind of make it up and be like, yeah, that's how I want it to be.
Yep.
But thank you for coming on the show. It's great having you here.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, kind of how you got started into the game development space, and a little bit about the game.
Yeah, sure. My name is Breeze. I'm the director of board game publisher Zephyr Workshop, and we make a game called AEGIS Combining Robots, or AEGIS Combining Robots, or AEGIS Combining Robots. So either way, it's AEGIS, AEGIS Combining Robots. It's a board game. It's like a 1 to 6 player tactics game. It's kind of like Voltron, Pokemon, Fire Emblem, Advance Wars. It takes a lot of those inspirations and kind of mashes them together. You have a team of 5 robots. You fight against your opponent's teams of 5 robots. There's 5 different kinds of robot: assault, evasive, guard, intel, and support. It spells Aegis.
Hey, what a coincidence.
Yeah.
And then the different types of robots are color-coded. A guys are red, E guys are blue, yada, yada, yada. And the cool thing about the game is that during battle, you can combine 2 small robots on your team to make a bigger robot. So you get your A guy and your E guy together to make an AE robot. Then he assaults and it evades. Wow. Or you could even put all 5 of your robots together to make Voltron, if you have one of each type.
Nice.
So it's pretty cool. There's 100 robots in the box, so there's like 1 million teams that you can build. It came out like early 2019, and then we spent most of that year selling it, and then we're out of it now. We did a Kickstarter in like 2017, 2018. Shipped it in like late 2018, early 2019. We sold through all of it right before the pandemic. That was good, because then there were no conventions to go to for 2 years.
And I imagine production would have really taken a hit too.
Oh yeah, no, it was bad, dude. Like shipping from like China and stuff, like 10-tupled in price. Like you just got owned if you were trying to like make board games over the pandemic. So after a 2-year production hiatus, we're back, and we're going back to Kickstarter on January 17th to make a sequel. So it's called Aegis. It's Aegis Second Ignition. We're doing this Kickstarter to reprint the first game because we're all out of it, and we're making this whole new box that we spent the whole pandemic working on. Has like 100 new robots in it. We used a bunch of the money that we got from our first game to make this new game that's like way better and cooler. The 2 games are cross-compatible, however, but yeah, we have a whole team of nice artists on the new box, and we've been able to leverage a lot of our accumulated experience as developers and publishers to make it even better. And we'll do some bells and whistle tweaks to like the first box too. But January 17th, so doing the rondo, trying to make people care. I think a lot of people will care.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like a really fun game. Haven't had a chance to play it myself yet, but we did watch. I know there was a YouTube review that Rob managed to track down, and did kind of the rundown of how the game plays. So if you want to take a little bit of time to explain how some of those kind of game mechanics work out.
Oh yeah, sure. So yeah, we since the game's been out for a bit, there's like a whole bunch of people on YouTube who have covered it. We have a really good one by Roll for Crit about how to play Aegis in 5 minutes or less or more, and it's a good video. But yeah, so like I said, you have a team of 5 robots. The main mechanical gimmick is that you always start with 5 small robots, these single-letter robots, AEGIS, and at the start of every turn, they'll pool energy points together. So like every robot, depending on their type, will give you more or less energy, and they'll go into a pool of like usually between like 15 and 20-ish. And then you use those points on your turn to move and attack, so you can, every space you move on the board costs a point of energy, every dice you roll costs a point of energy. The board is like a hex grid. There's like walls, and you move it, basically it's pretty direct. It's you move your robots around, you shoot at each other to try to win. There's a couple different game modes that change the win conditions. The base game mode is just blow your opponent's robots up until they can't make a certain amount of energy, and then they'll lose. And then there's like other new modes in our new box that we've introduced that are more like objective based, where you're going to go capture points on a map. Or there's also a solo mode now that we made for the new box, where you fight against the boss and the deck of minion cards. So that was a hotly requested thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was hotly requested. Everybody really likes solo mode, so I've been actually cranking on that for the last couple of months, trying to make it good, intuitive, but still not a huge departure from like how the core rules play. So we're trying to find that like happy medium of it working well as like a boss rush mode, but not just an AI controlled player, because then there's like a lot of like micromanagement that you have to do. So
it's nice if it can really kind of play itself, and then you're just kind of responding to it.
Yeah, exactly. Because we want you to, most of your time and effort we want most of your time and effort to be devoted to making decisions and playing the game, and not, micromanaging AI-controlled pieces and stuff. So that's been the challenge of designing a solo mode, especially in like a grid-based game where there's normally like a lot of movement and positioning.
Right.
But it's cool. It's neat.
Yeah. And how big is the space? Because it looked like it could really easily fit like on a kitchen table or something like that.
Yeah, our game's we try to make our game pretty. It's compared to like other war skirmishy games, Battletech, War Machine, things like that. It's definitely a smaller footprint. Especially in our new box, the board is actually, if you do a 2-player game, we actually have like a half-sized board, so it's even easier just to like throw on a little table and fight. But yeah, you unfold it and you have a 4-player board. And then if you really want to do a 6-player game, then we have a big 6-player mat that's sold separately, and it's like physically larger. But box itself is small and there's like no air in the box. We really tried to make the box as small as feasibly possible. So, it's not going to be one of those Kickstarter games that, all these expansions, it's the size of your refrigerator. It all just fit. Everything fits in a little tiny box about like the size of like a stack of copy paper. It's like 8.5 by 11-ish.
And use standees, which is nice. That saves a lot of room. Then a lot of people are... I think that's the old school way of doing it, and it's coming back because people don't want like giant boxes full of miniatures anymore. It's not as desirable with shipping now, especially.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So like you said, So Aegis is all standees, and there's like 2 reasons for that. Number one is obviously box space. When you do a miniatures game, the box is going to have to be like 10 times bigger to like accommodate for them.
Wow, especially with the hundreds of different combinations and stuff you're getting.
Yes.
It'd be way too much.
Yeah, exactly. That's the other thing. Since Aegis gives you like 100 unique robots, we wanted to just give you lots of gameplay content. So when I started making this game, I was like, I just wanted content. I didn't want to like, pay $50 to get like 2 playable guys and stuff. I wanted, if this is like going to be a team-based game, we have to give you a lot of team options. And so we did that. Instead of doing miniatures, we have these nice colorful standees. They have like the certain stats printed on them, so that actually makes them more usable than miniatures. Yeah. So you can like see what your opponent's like movement and like health values are without like leering over the board at their cards.
That's handy.
So yeah, it's, try to make the game a lot of content, make it usable, make it compact, make it affordable. That's why the game's like $50. So either box is $50, gets you 100 robots, and it's
a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
And what's kind of the age range do you typically try to get players at?
It's about as complicated as like a Pokemon or a Yu-Gi-Oh.
Sure.
So it's actually not. It's not like 7, 8 might be too young, but we've actually had a lot of like middle schoolers. Once you start to get to like that 11 and 12 range, and your kids start like really absorbing like how keyword abilities work and how to like read cards and strategize. We've had like a lot of kids at conventions around that like middle school age range really get into the game.
That's really cool. And especially since like, giant mecha games in particular do tend to have that kind of higher age range, which, and with more complex rules and stuff like that. So like that barrier to entry, I kind of feel sometimes keeps people from enjoying this kind of side of our niche genre of a hobby that we kind of occupy. So it's really awesome to hear about a game like this being accessible to a much younger audience. Get them excited for giant robots so that they can continue to grow and expand in their mecha journey.
Yeah, absolutely. And then it's like, and it is still very much, there's still like, very much a lot of stuff to dig into and a lot of strategy to dig into for like, your hardcore like Warhammer players. There's like the sheer amount of content and different like team builds and combinations makes it like as sweaty a game as you want to be, or as like dumb of a dice rolly punchy game as you want it to be. It's like Aegis is a toy box. It gives you a lot of opportunity to do whatever you want with it.
Are the mechs, when you build your team, are they point based then?
Nope. To even streamline that, it's just like any 5 single-letter robots. So you can actually have a whole team of all red guys, like all assault guys, if you just want to punch somebody in the face.
So you could take more than just one A. I thought you had to take one of each letter.
No. Yeah, you can. It's very open-ended. So yeah, there's no team value. There's no point values. There's just like always 5 single-letter robots. And you can build a little deck of combined robots off to the side. Like
that's really cool.
Fusion deck. Yeah.
So you can combine 2 A's and 2 G's or whatever.
Not yet. Not yet. Only so right now, only robots of different letters can combine, and there's like at least one robot of every letter combination in each box.
I actually like that limitation though. So
yeah,
because it opens up a lot. If you start doing,
like that makes sense because like Voltron wouldn't work well if it was like all left arms.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, very cool. Do you see the game kind of occupy? You kind of spoke a little bit to it's got this kind of really easy level of entry, but also a decent level of complexity. Do you see this as more kind of a casual pick up and play kind of board game night kind of thing, or do you want to see it even like evolve into maybe like a tournament type space?
I'd say it definitely leans a little bit more to like a tournament sort of thingy. It depends on your audience, right? It's a hard game to really whip out for like family game night because it's a competitive tactics game. So it's like
you're going down, Grandma.
Right, exactly. It's kind of like your dad, your uncle, and your grandma show up, and you're like, all right, let's play Commander. Let's go bring the magic decks. So it's still like in that niche where if like if you have like a bunch
I remember Voltron when it aired.
Yeah, exactly, right. So yeah, like it's. It's like, it's a sweaty combat game. So not like the greatest family game night game, but like in terms of like the game night with the bros who would normally play other sort of games in this genre, or like people who play this genre of game kind of would know immediately what to expect. It's like a game built for gamers sort of thing.
I do see on the on your original Facebook not Facebook, Kickstarter. You said it's for 25 to 35 minutes, so it's a nice fast game too, right?
Oh yeah, 2-player games go by pretty quickly. Probably right right around that range. Yeah, like 30, 40 minutes, 20, 30 minutes, depending on what's going on. Then 4-player game is about an hour.
Even that's
get to 6 players.
That's
it's longer than that. Yeah.
Yeah, there's like Battletech where it's like 3 days, so.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. It's like, I just want, you build your team, you put them on the board, you fight, you get the game over with, you play again. It's like, I didn't want to like make like a 3-hour, it's definitely not like a Twilight Imperium, 12-hour slugfest.
Yeah, quick games. And I was looking at your rulebook too. It's only like 37 pages too. So, and most of that's keywords and things like that, right? And gameplay modes. So, the actual rulebook looks like it's very complicated. So.
Oh yeah, like our rulebook's like a little half size sort of thing. So it's it's physically smaller. And then, like, the actual rules of the game is, like, actually only in the middle of the book. Like, the first part is, like, lore, and then it's set up, and then the actual game rules are probably, like, 8 pages or 6 pages or something. And then it's, like, glossaries and stuff. But then, everything you need to know how to play the game is on, like, the 5 cards in front of you. And then it's just knowing, like, these keywords and attack symbols.
Yeah, watching that... Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. I
was just saying, just watching that playthrough that was on once again, on the Kickstarter page... It was like 15 minutes, and I was like, oh, okay, I know how to play this game. Like, it was super, like, intuitive, like, the way it worked, so. And I love the combinations, too, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. Do you want to speak a little bit to that lore? Because I know there's a lot of people that do enjoy that side of the, this game space.
Oh yeah, so this is so along with making the game like accessible and like intuitive for its genre, I also wanted to do that with like the lore, right? Mm-hmm. So because like I know that somebody you buy this game, not a lot of some people would, but not a lot of people are gonna like crack open a novel or like really look through like this Lord of the Rings size like lore tome for this quirky little tactics game. Okay, so. And we do have a pretty robust like setting the game takes in. So the game takes place on a world called Sagaya. It's ages backwards, and it has five warring nations that are also color coded. You have allied provinces, imperial realm, great states, Iris Dominion, sector authority, AEGIS, and these factions also kind of take after like their color. So like. The E faction is like far-reaching, just like the evasive robots in the game, and the great states are like big, tough, and like sort of tanky and staunch in like their national philosophies. Because guard robots, the green robots in the game, are kind of like bulky, and the armored ones. So you see, and then like you have like these commander characters that come from these countries that you play as in the game. So like you have character Etwall. He starts with an E. He drives an E robot. He's from the E nation. They're all blue.
It's like poetry.
Yeah, it's like poetry. Right. So it's like there's a lot of characters in the game, and we do have like a scenario book that is like for the first box that kind of goes through like a whole bunch of different setups, but it also goes through like the plot of like the first season of this like overarching lore. And like the gist of it is that people discovered these robots all like buried in like the ground and stuff, and like they've just been kind of like lawn ornaments for a long time. But then one day somebody figures out how to like wake them up, and then it kind of kicks off this arms race where now everybody's got fighting robots that are just like springing out of the ground. So now, and they figure out they can combine. So these 5 nations on the map are trying to figure out who's going to be the first one to really figure out like the apex of these things is power. Who's going to put 5 of them together to make like, how powerful can these robots really be? So they like kind of enter into this arms race. And it's called like the 5 Nations War because it's 5 nations in a war. And so the first story arc of the story arc of the first box is kind of like how about that and these characters and how that all transpires. And in the second box, that war's been resolved, and we actually go into this other anime trope where now that war is over and a nation is like kind of conquered the world sort of thing, now all battles are decided by a world tournament that are like sanctioned. It's like just like Street Fighter or G Gundam.
Robot jocks.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And So that's the plot of the second box. We get into like, this like Robot Jocks, G Gundam, Zoid Zero sort of trope.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it's cool. We have a wiki. People can look into these characters. There's like 18 characters in the first box alone, and they're cool.
You're definitely getting a lot of quantity like of all this stuff that you're providing. So like at $50 for hundreds of mechs, 18 different pilots, like people are getting a lot.
Ridiculous. Yeah, no, it's we wanted to give you a bang for your buck for sure. It's cathartic to sort in the box, in theory craft, and just figure out weird team combinations and all this other stuff. I think that's the kind of game that we wanted to make, right? So we did.
So like on that note, like, do you have a favorite combo that you pulled off once or twice?
I've played this game so many times. I like certain commanders, and I like certain robots. I like a lot of the ones in the new box because that's what I've been staring at for like 3 years now.
For sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff. You can make 5-letter. You like some of the 5-letter robots are cool. Like there's a new 5-letter robot in our new box. It comes out into play and it actually poops out all of these little sort of like drones. So you have a singular large robot on the board and it poops out drones and it lets the drones use the same attacks as the main body. So like you're making all these little doodads, these little 1 HP doodads that you can move around the board and shoot giant fire lasers from. And I think that's cool to do. That's like a cool thing.
Yeah.
It reminds me of like funnels and Gundam.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So with there being 5 mechs that can possibly be combined and a new Kickstarter coming up, do you have plans for like stretch goals to like have Exodia, the forbidden one, where you have to have all the parts of them or something?
There's like so like last time and this time we're gonna do this thing where we're gonna go into Kickstarter with like our low goal, and there'll probably be like 50 robots in the box, just so if the Kickstarter like totally flops, we can eke past our goal and still print something. Sure. But that means we only got like 100 backers and we need to look inward. Once we hit like so many stretch goals, then that robot number will increase and increase and increase. And we have all this content designed, but then we just need enough money to functionally print it. Because even though we're not doing miniatures, every sheet of cards every sheet of cards that you add is like money. And every punch board you add to the box is money.
And wait.
So yeah, and we'll be adding more bosses to fight in the solo mode, and yeah, we have like all these stretch goals planned out. And once we hit a certain number, like probably like 50 or 60K or something, we'll have like this really all the bells and whistles will be in the box, and we'll start unlocking even cooler, more esoteric things after that.
Nice. I'm looking at the preview poster for the new Second Ignition, and I love the art style. It's very anime, but all different kind of styles working together. I think that's kind of fun too.
Yeah. We got some really great artists. Our poster was done by this guy Noah Nagata. He's very, very talented. He was worked on a lot of the artwork in the second box, characters, promotional stuff, a lot of robots. And then we have like a couple other really good artists too that work in a few different styles because our game kind of covers a lot of drastically different robot designs, from like traditional looking Gundam sort of looking super robots to like weird Zoids to like more abstract like the Matrix tentacle monsters.
One guy in the poster reminds me of Megas XLR from the back in the
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, it's cool.
And what you kind of mentioned earlier, like going on the convention circuit, like are there conventions that you plan to hit that people might be able to check the game out?
Yeah, we're going to PAX Unplugged in 3 weeks. Kill me. It's just running up real fast. Yeah, I had to write them a big check for our booth just a couple days ago, and then we're going to be doing probably PAX East. I don't know in what capacity, but we've done PAX East like every year since it started. We're originally from Massachusetts. Unplugged will be at booth 4031. You might
be right across from me then.
Oh, really? That's great.
Up there 900.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. You might literally be next to us.
I will come by and say hi then.
Yep. We'll be there with, we're splitting our booth with our other friend who makes a tactics game called React: The Arts of War. It's about dueling artists. It's also a grid-based head-to-head tactics game with really fancy art. He's doing a Kickstarter, like, in 2 weeks. Good luck to him. But, yeah, we'll be doing our we pushed ours to January because I didn't want to compete with the holidays.
Yeah,
he's brave. He's brave.
Yeah. Best of luck to him, for sure.
Yeah, especially this year.
Yep. His game looks really fancy, though. He spent a lot of money on his art, so we'll see. Then we're also back-to-back with Solace Game Studios. We actually, all four, we're on like this 2x2 island, this 4 booths, and we're all kind of related. So we're back-to-back with Solace Game Studios. They do a game called Pocket Paragons, which is like a little dueling game, and our game crosses over with their game. They have like their own little Pocket Paragons Aegis box that you can get, and it's cool. It has our characters in it. Good game. And then we have Copper Frog Games, which sells these cool tote bags with some of our art on it.
Nice.
And so yeah, it's cool.
Very nice.
And so I'm looking forward to PAX Unplugged, baby. Gonna go there. Gonna eat some banchan.
Hopefully it won't snow.
Yeah, right. Love freezing to death.
Yeah, it is that time of year, isn't it?
Yep.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. Is there anything else you kind of wanted to mention about the game or other stuff you got going on?
Yeah, our Kickstarter preview page is up. Click the green button on it. It's called AEGIS Combining Robots Season 2 is where it's listed under.
Yeah, we'll have the links for it all in our show notes too. So
perfect. Yeah. And so we just hit 1,300 followers on that. Hopefully, most of them will back. And root for us when we launch January 17th in just 60 days from this recording. That'd be great.
Yeah, it's coming up quick, eh?
Yeah. And that's and we're also doing Twitch streams all through the holidays up through our Kickstarter launch. So is Zephyr the twitch.tv/Zephyr Workshop. We'll just playtesting stuff, tying up some loose ends and stuff for some new content that will probably be stretch goal content. So you can tune in to that and also play with us if you want to play some things that are unfinished, and but still very sparkly and cool. So yeah, thank you guys so much.
Thanks so much, Breeze. This has been really awesome, and like I said, best of luck on your Kickstarter coming up here. We'll obviously be tooting the trumpets and everything as soon as it comes out.
Hey, that's great.
Yep, keep in touch. So we'll let us know when it comes out, and maybe afterwards we'll have you back on to have an after-action report, see how it went.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah, just totally able to do that. Even during the campaign, if it's flopping, I can just lament.
And I will say you're always welcome to like post in our Facebook group or anything, about your game, to advertise events and stuff coming up for it. We've got a great little community there of like-minded folks, so they're always looking for new stuff to check out.
That's great. Thank you so much.
All right. And with that, I think everybody have a nice night.
This has been Mobile Armor Radio. Join our Facebook group by searching for Mobile Armor Radio. Find us on Twitter @MArmorRadio. Find us on iTunes and visit our website, mobilearmorradio.podbean.com. Join us on the first of every month for more Mecha discussion.